say lot are mad. United Kingdom of Islam, Allahu Akbar. No one has fought my guy. Big up, big up.
It's the three musketeers, man. You know that.
Big up Rats TV.
Big up Eesa, man.
This is Jordan, Eesa, Abdullah, man. The realest guys on road right now.
Big up Monetised.
It's the realest brothers, man. The realest brothers, man. I pray for you, inshallah. All of you get happy lives, happy lives, well. You get me, inshallah. Like, if there's anything man can do, yeah, to do anything, assist you, lot, just let me know, innit? My man is here for you, bro. You feel me? In any way, bro. You got my number, innit? You got my number. Just call me straight away, but anytime, anywhere, man's there.
We're gonna help you get married.
Anytime, inshallah. Yeah, come on, bro. Anytime you got you, yeah. Man, like, because the believers are brothers, innit? They're more than blood brothers, you feel me? So, you lot, anything, bro, anytime, bro. I swear to God, bro, I'm appreciating you.
Always been good to me, always.
I
Even my
appreciate
first day in the park.
I appreciate you, bro.
Gave me some books.
You lot are the...
I read them all. Some of them weren't nothing to do with Islam.
Trying to get on.
That's why they say the people of the same souls, they roll together. Birds of the feather flock together. You get me? Because you lot are all good people, that's why you roll together. You understand? That your souls are attached to, are relaxed with each other because you all got the same, because the souls resemble each other and chill with each other. You understand? There's even a hadith that they goes, if there's a big majlis, a majlis means a gathering, and someone walks in, his soul will take him to a place, he will sit down to a person that's the same as his soul. You understand? Because souls attract each other. And they're in harmony, which are the similar. Ones that are similar to them, they're in harmony with them. You understand? So you lot are similar, but you're all good people. Believers in Allah, you're clean, you ain't fake, like people born into Islam, bare fakes, bro. Bare fakes, bro. Like if their parents was atheists, they'll be atheists. If their parents was Sikh, they'll be Sikh. Bare people like that, bro. I'm telling you, like, probably 90% people like that. Don't get twisted, bro. So they're just following their parents, like, you understand? That's why, man, when sees you, like, I see realness, bro. And that's a few people. That's what I'm saying, bro. You lot are the few in this world, bro. There's only like a few of you in this world. The believers, you feel me? The Quran says, وَأَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ وَأَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَشْكُرُونَ وَأَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَؤْمِنُونَ. It always says the majority do not believe. The majority are not grateful. The majority are, you understand, they don't use their brain. لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. You understand? So the majority is always, it's only the minority that's good. You lot are like the people of the cave and that, Ashab al-Kahf and that, you feel me? You know the cave, yeah, they were believers, bro. They chilled and that. Come on, bro. No. What I'm trying to say. Stop for a laugh. We're all sinners, but what I'm trying to say is that the believers, yeah, in the mu'minun ukhwa is brothers. But like I said, because these days, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to find real people, bro. It's hard to find, bro, because you don't know who's real, who's fake. So certain man are just rolling by themselves, bro. I'll be honest with you, bro. But they're like, you know what, man, just gonna roll by myself, do my thing, you get me? Do my dicker. Because you're Britain, you get me? Do this thing. But like I said, the believer, yeah, let me tell you something about the believer. There's a hadith that says if the believer is by himself, Allah on a mountain, Allah will send something, Allah will send someone to him, something to him to hurt him. The believer will always have trouble. They said, each believer, he's got 5 things. Either a munafiq who's trying to attack him, like make him a bad reputation, or a shaitan who's trying to make him do haram, or another believer that is envious of him, or a kafir that's trying to kill him. A believer is under these states all the time. A believer, when he sees a believer, it is like he relaxes just like the person who's thirsty relaxes with water. There's a hadith about a believer. He says the believer, when he meets his believer, another believer, it's like he feels, it's like his, that's his happiness, you understand? So that's good, you lot deal with each other and that, you feel me? And like, what I'm trying to say, yeah, man's got dough in it. I'm not chasing dough, like.
Where'd that come from?
No, listen,
There's a lot of dough in there, man.
No, what I'm saying,
like a grand in there.
No grand. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say, if you got money, yeah, this is
the peas.
This guy, no, I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm trying to say, if you got money, spend it, because they're bad people, they died, they saved money and they died, like. I know people that saved so much money, they're working all their life and they just died, they left it, someone else took it. Like, if you got money, spend it, Allah will give. That's why Allah says, the person that's generous, a person that's generous is more love to Allah than a stingy worshipper. There's a hadith. And the reason for this is because the stingy person, he doesn't spend, he's got a bad sort of dhan billah. He thinks bad of Allah. He thinks, if I spend, Allah won't give me. His iman is weak. But a person who's generous, he says, I spend, and I know Allah is going to give me. His iman is higher, and the sin of belief is worse than the sin of the action. Do you understand? The sin of the aqidah is worse than the sin of the action, because that's why Allah puts you in hell forever for your aqidah, not just for your action. Do you understand? That's why la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi. But like I said, man like me out here, if you got to believe in wife, but there's a hadith here, it says أغلب أعداء المؤمن زوجته. The believer, most of his enemy is wife. Do you know why? Even the Quran says this. In the Quran, no, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. No, let me tell you why.
You hear that?
No, let me tell you why.
I'm free from that hadith.
No, let me tell you why.
Not apply to me though.
Let me tell you why, because إن من أزواجكم وأولادكم عدو لكم فاحذروهم. The Quran says, and from your wives and your children as enemies for you, so be careful. Not all the time, because Allah tests the believer with a bad wife. She might be giving him headache, she might be, do you understand? So he tests him. So most of the time the believer has got a problem with his wife. But what I'm saying, the believer will always have a problem. There was a man who came to Imam Ja'far Sadiq. Imam Ja'far Sadiq said to him, tell me about the prison of Basra. He said the prison of Basra is dark. The prison of Basra is dirty. The prison of Basra is small. He said to him, the dunya for this believer is like the prison of Basra. The dunya for this believer is like the prison. So we're living, if you're a believer, you live in a prison. You always have problems. I know he's got a lot of problems. I know Esa's got a lot of problems. I know he's got a lot of problems. The believer, he has the most.
He's got no problem. No problem.
More money, more problem.
There's a hadith. They say, كلما ازداد إيمانا ازداد بلاء. They say the believer is like a scale. The more iman he gets, the more problem he gets. Do you understand? So the more iman you get, you're going to have problems in your life. Every day you're going to have problems. Because this life is a prison for you. It's not your Jannah, bro. Do you understand? I know people, you know what they did? They say, man bakhala bidirham, the one who's stingy for £1 fi sabilillah, he doesn't give £1 fi sabilillah, Allah makes him lose £1,000 in haram. Do you understand? There's people, there's stush. Bro, I'm talking about myself, bro. I'm telling you, bro, if you don't spend, and trust in Allah, give. For example, yeah, there's people.
Money racks.
Racks.
I'm just looking at Carmaine falling asleep. He was falling asleep.
Like I said, brother, you know the believer.
My conversation inside.
They say,
I got you, bro.
they say the one that makes a believer happy has made the Prophet happy, and the one that makes the Prophet happy has made Allah happy. Always, when you see a believer, make him happy. Do you understand? Like, try and help him, try and give him something. I swear, I feel so bad. All right, let me get you some drinks. 1 second, stay. No, 1 second, please.
You had the intention.
I'm coming back 1 second. All right, talk for 2
They want to
seconds.
go, bro.
No, don't go. 2 seconds. I'm coming back. Just wait. Talk for 2 seconds. Don't go. I beg you, don't go. I'll be 2 minutes. I'll be 1 minute. Don't go. Yes, stay here. I'm coming back. Don't go. I'm coming.
Where's he going? So the intention was to get himself a drink.
Hey, big up OD, man. He's a little nuts, but you know what? He's got a good heart still, man. You have to big it up for that one.
Was he going to get one of those energy drinks?
So what do you reckon, Eesa, after that chat? What do you reckon? What do you take from that? You got to summarise all of that.
Well, apparently my worst enemy is my wife. So. Nah.
I was thinking, yeah, I'm not married yet.
I don't know.
What they say is so wrong يعني. Allah creates a woman to, Allah says in the Quran, هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهم.
They're a garment for you and you're a garment for them.
Exactly.
There was context to what you were saying, wasn't it, about the wife
Being an enemy.
because you understood it in the Arabic.
Well, it's out of context. Sometimes your family can be, i.e. your wife and your children can be a means of a trial, not an enemy. They're a trial for you. So, for example, you might do all sorts of dubious things, yeah, to maybe get your child into a good school or good job, or you
I-
might just do dubious things to buy your wife gifts in order to impress her.
It is a
These
test.
are the type
It
of
is a
tests
test.
and the fix of
Allah, Allah said it in the Quran. ولنبتليكم في أموالكم وأولادكم. We're gonna test you in your sons and in your money to see. Because
Big up 250 in the
yeah,
house.
Allah to test you. We need to test you in the more in what you love the best, in the biggest thing you love. If you love money, and the most of them love money and they love their kids. So yeah, Allah said gonna test us. MashaAllah. Big up my life.
Where's that one, brother? Hey, no, don't hit. Hey, brother, what's it?
Look at that, you found the deal, 2 for £2.
I'm a Muslim. Come on, no,
Kellogg's, you know.
breakfast one. I know, listen.
MashaAllah.
Hey, right, can I tell you last night? They say there's a hadith. I'm going to get them something. We're after. Listen.
We got Mr. Waxon for getting us something to eat.
There's a hadith.
It's on your credit card, right?
No.
On the corporate.
That's from Mo.
Hey, listen. There's a hadith. They say the one that drinks water in the night standing up, he gets a disease that has no cure. I've read this
This is
hadith.
some myth, bro.
Man, shut up, not even the sunnah, in it to sit down. No, in it, ask it. In it, the sunnah is to sit down.
How do you do it? Go on,
من شرب الماء واقفا ليلا أصابه داء لا دواء له.
250 in the house.
Sit down whenever
It's
you're
the sunnah to sit, no, at night.
Hey, what's the
250 in the
sentence
house.
for that hadith though?
No, when you're drinking water at night, sit down. That's why, so when you're drinking
Go on, man.
Ribena,
How
it's
you
water.
say
Show us.
Like this.
Recommended.
Yeah, it's recommended. Yeah, and the
recommended.
doctors believe that it's good. It's good to drink when you drink.
When you sit
Not
down.
to drink. Yeah, when you're standing up. You sit down and drink.
You sit down.
Yeah.
You understand?
It's recommended, but I don't think about hadith or this disease or this
I swear I
stuff.
read this. I read
Yeah.
Eesa, sit
The
down.
information is true in this part.
Please,
The
say
other
Eesa.
part is
Another story.
I'm telling you. MashaAllah.
You're banging on my
Bang it, come on, bro. Come on, you know it. Hey, bro, like I said,
just a recommended.
yeah. It's not good, bro.
Better, just a bit better.
Just
But
let
it's
him
not
say it,
haram,
let him
haram.
say it, come on.
It's not haram. You can.
No,
It's
but-
not haram. You
No,
can
but
drink. You
it
stand.
might be
in.
bad for you. It might be bad for
Yeah,
you.
you can drink anyway. Stand in, sleep,
And,
and lie.
and they say the believer, he's got light in his eyes.
What the Prophet recommended things for your health.
Yeah, bro.
Do you know the
Live stream.
believer?
Live stream,
You
brother.
make
The
everything.
mu'min,
259 people.
And they're not going to bed, these people.
No, man. They're
Isn't it?
watching.
Bedtime, people.
Oh no.
I tell you, man. Hey, Rax has got people living like insomniacs out here, bro.
Yeah, I love to.
Big up the chat. Big up the 25, man.
I listen to this, yeah, the believer, yeah, he says he's always smiling in his face and his heart is sad. His heart is sad. حزنه في قلبه وبشره في وجهه. Imam Ali said the believer, his heart is always sad and his face is always smiling. And the munafiq is always a screw face like this. One blood. Munafiq is screw face.
There is hadith say, if you want to know the munafiq, there is hadith say, آية المنافق ثلاث.
He lies.
آية المنافق ثلاث. إذا حدث كذب وإذا وعد أخلف وإذا اؤتمن خان.
Yeah, that's
Which means if you want to know who's the munafiq. If he talked, he lied. If you trusted him, he will not be trusted.
And the believer, no, seriously.
Yeah, but
And the
Big
believer,
up the 270 in the
no, the believer who always like, let me tell you something about the believer.
Going
yeah?
up and up.
hey,
I thought someone got hit.
What is it? What happened?
Nothing.
I don't know, I think the sign got hit. But listen to this, yeah?
Big up the range, though.
No, I think his thing fell over.
That's all the delivery man then. All the delivery man. No, go on here, still. I know right now, you can't get me with that one there. Bad mistake.
And the believer, let me tell you something about the believer, yeah? The believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if the believer is by himself, Allah will send him something that will make him happy, you understand? He wouldn't leave him lonely, you understand? And like, obviously the believer, yeah, Allah gives him special psychic powers. That's why it says, ittaqu farasat al-mu'min. What does that mean? He goes, watch out from the psychic powers of a believer.
The foresight.
Because the foresight of the believer, because he watches with the nur, إنه ينظر بنور الله, like with Allah gives him a special light. So
before anyone starts speaking, yeah, he's talking about like Power Rangers or anything. Firasa just means it's not foresight, it's the ability to foretell. It's like, you know, when I see people got like an inkling in their heart that something's gonna go down, like, and they say to you, do you know what, I feel for you, don't go down that street and stuff. That's what Firasa is. So not a special psychic powers that the one I said, but it's, you know.
There's correction there by Eesa.
yeah, YouTube, yeah.
Worldwide.
Well done. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so obviously, man, like Eesa, man knows him from back in the days and that. Man's blessed and that. But obviously, we gotta keep it. We gotta keep like, you get me? المؤمنون بعضهم أولياء بعض. You get me? يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر. You get me? The believers are allies to each other. They enjoy good and forbid evil. You feel me? And that's what the brothers are doing with the part. You feel me? That's why I got respect for Eesa, Jordan.
Because he's not with me.
Inshallah. You get me? And I see that brother doing that. I see this brother doing that. Abdul. Man's always posted up on the strip and that. Put bare Quran and that. You get me? I see him all the time.
So the Amr bil Ma'ruf is getting married, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, bro.
Permanent style, isn't it? Not
Yeah, of course, bro. Man's get a permanent marriage, inshallah. But and also, it says the mu'min, yeah, he's got, you know, the mu'min, the believer, when he has a dream, yeah, you know, a dream, yeah. It's got like, you should always ask the believer, what dream did you see? You understand? Because his dream, it can mean something. You understand? Trust me, it's bare things, bro. It's not a joke. This guy's not a joke, bro. You know this guy?
Yeah, but not anyone can explain dream.
Yeah,
It's haram.
You, I think. Yeah, you.
It's haram to explain the dream. يعني. You should know all the
Tafsir,
Quran.
yeah.
All the Quran. You should save all the Quran.
Don't rate the
by
dreams
heart.
to bad people
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
not anyone can tell you.
So if anyone see me in a dream, let me know. I want to see. I want to know what's going on. You get me? Let me know what you saw. Yeah?
He's gonna interpret, he's gonna interpret.
متعة dream.
Daymare and nightmare.
And you know what? Yeah, let me tell you something about the believer. Yeah, they say the believer, a mu'min, a believing woman is worth more than gold and silver. She cannot be measured with gold and silver and diamonds. She's more than this. And a non-believing woman, she's basically.
Big up one.
I'm not gonna say. Who's saying? No, I've read this. I've read it. So a believing woman, a mu'minah, she's very precious. Do you understand? If someone who's got a believing woman, he's got khair al-dunya wal-akhirah. Man, if Allah loves a person and He wants to give him the best of this life and that, it gives him a pious wife. You should respect her, treat her good. You get me?
All women are precious unless they devalue themselves.
Yeah, I trust you. I speak somebody.
Carry on, man.
Carry on.
That's what I had to say, man.
Oh, man, like Eesa. Now I pray for you lot, I'm gonna keep you in my dua, keep you in my dua. Straight. I'm gonna pray for them, bro. After my salam, Allah bless them. Trust me, I'm gonna mention them by name, bro. I know I can feel the energy. See, man, I ain't gonna come to anyone and say this. Have you ever seen me say this to anyone? No. But I'm saying to these people, why? Because I feel the energy, I got spiritual ability to feel this, bro. Because I've never said this to anyone in the park or outside the park. But it's the first time you see me say this, bro. Because I know what I want. You feel me? Don't think I'm not. Why do you think I'm more than I'm famous worldwide? John Cena and that. Why do you think? Come on, bro. It's not like that. No one can. I'm man, so it's on the next thing. You get me? That's why Allah made me very famous around the world. Like, all America's talking about me, bro.
Yeah, since then, John ain't seen you though.
Nah, John Cena, bro.
I actually got bars as well.
Come on, man. You know how time it is, bro. But it's too much things. Alright, my brother. Like, come on, my brother. You know it's all luck, bro. The happiest time of today was seeing these brothers. I swear to you, bro. Hey, Jordan, love to see you, bro.
Rats.
Yes, my brother.
Big up, my brother, man.
Big up,
Always
brother.
good to see you, bro.
Always
Remember, sit down
family.
with you that night.
Bless up.
But during the day, you can stand up. Like, just that night.
Eesa, I'm gonna put that.
Bless up, Carmen. Yes, brother. Mad thing. Jordan.
I love you, bro. I love you. I love
Peace.
this guy, bro. I swear the nicest people. I just see the nicest people today in my life. I swear to God. It's too.
Someone like Jordan, I'm gonna talk about him when I go back to Egypt. Like even after 20 years, I'm gonna talk about man like him. Uqsim billah.
Come on, bro. Look at the nur in his face, bro.
Uqsim billah.
Look at the nur in their faces, all of them. They got nur, bro. They got light, bro. And these brothers, like, you'll never see me like big up people like that, bro. But I'm big up people like this, bro. I know, I feel it, bro.
No, to be honest, if you wanna judge a Muslim, judge him in his country. if you want to judge the Muslim people and how we act and what we doing, judge us in our country. Here, yeah, I'm agree with you. We act silly. To be honest, it's not free in our countries like here. But yeah, if you want to judge a Muslim, judge us there.
May Allah bless
Jordan,
them, that's what Allah
it's his country.
May Allah
It's his
bless
country.
Jordan, Eesa,
So
Abdul,
you
come
can
on,
feel
inshallah, innit? Pray for them, come on, man. Man knows
That's it,
the...
man. You know, to all my Muslim brothers who's listening, you know, come on, bro.